Alright, instead of doing two different reviews, I'm just gonna do one review and just go through both of them like it's one big ass movie. This is about the Descent and the Descent 2. Alright. A bunch of female friends, cave divers, I believe that's what you call them, decide that they want to go cave diving into, I believe, what they thought was a uncharted cave. Okay, so when they get down there, at first they run into some problems, and they find out that it's not uncharted because they find like old, very old clamps that they use for what do you call it when you clamp down in rocks, whatever you call that. They found some very old ones, so they go down there, and the first thing they do is they start hearing sounds, and they go further and further into the cave, and then something happens to where they get trapped in this cave system. So now they gotta just find their way out and go forward. Then this shit happens. First they started finding like bones and shit. And so after that they come into their first encounter with this thing that's humanoid. But as you see in the picture, it looks like, I guess you can call it a Batman because it got long pointy ears. It looks like a bat in the face, kind of, with little sharp teeth. So they had their first confrontation with that. And this whole movie has them going through all kind of crazy shit to get out of this fucking cave. Now there's certain things happen in the movie, like how it comes on and why they went down there, and the connections between this one and the second one. But you have to watch the movie to see it. The movie to me is good. It's good. You know, I can't say it's predictive. You know me, I'm just the type of person that's going to tell you, I don't see why these dumbasses did this stupid shit anyway. I don't care if you men, women, white or black. To me, people need to just stay away from shit. But anyway, I believe it was an uncharted cave. They thought it was uncharted, so they wanted to be the first ones there. But it wasn't uncharted. Okay. Now the Descent 2. Oh, well, first of all, in the Descent 1, one person, one female got out alive. The Descent 2 picks up where the sheriff of this town, who's in the town that they was all looking for all the females. He decided, he was an asshole in the film, and I'm glad he got it. Yes, he got it. They decide, and at this time, she has no memory. Let me tell you something. Because if she would have had a memory, there's no way in the fuck, me personally, knowing what she went through, I would have went back down there. But because she didn't have any memory, she couldn't remember anything, the sheriff decides to take her and go back down into the caves. Come to find out, the caves were underground, and it's a very large cave system. So that really didn't make any sense because they don't know where they're going to go down and come out. So this motherfucker here. So they go down there. They go down in a place that they didn't even show in the first one. It looked like some kind of church. And somebody had drew up a map, and they showed the church, and they showed like under the church, and it was just a picture, and the picture just showed it going straight down into nothing. So they enter there, and they got this guy that helps them enter, because he knows the area. He knows how to show them. All this shit is new. How they got down there, they went down this thing that they went down into mines with. All this shit was new. The girls just, what do you call it, rappelled or whatever, down with ropes. No, these motherfuckers got into the machine and took them down the train like some old ass elevator, and it took them down there. And they got down there, and they start seeing some of the things that they saw in part one. One of the biggest things that they see you know how they fuck with your eyes and they'll show the monster here and there. But at the end, nobody believed them. They thought she was a quack. And then they come into their first encounter with one of the creatures. Now, while she's down there, her memory is starting to come back. And then there's a part where a big memory comes back, and she hits one or two people and she runs. And one guy was like, "Oh, crazy bitch, whatever." She's gone now. But now she got that memory, so she knows what's down there. And she also knows, because one thing I didn't tell you is that they can't see. They can't see. They're blind. I guess they're blind because they've been down in the dark all this time. So you got to be quiet. So they wind up going down there. And then there's one part when she runs away, another person that we thought was dead, who was a key part of part 1, which you have to see, she pops up and she kills one of them. So I guess the chick must have been in the hospital maybe a week before they took her back down there. So she's still alive. And they got these things for going in caves and they like chopping shit. And she kills one of them. And she puts the knife up against the guy who I didn't like, the sheriff, up against his throat. And she just stands there and she's like being real quiet. And the thing goes right past her. So I guess the sheriff knows by that you got to be quiet. So now she's alive. So this movie just keeps bouncing back and forth to the sheriff and the female, and then the other chick, the star of the movie, and what she's going through with the other people who are down there. And as always, the creatures are killing them off one by one. Okay, try to make it short as possible. So just make it like it's one long movie. So what had happened was, what had happened is, towards the end of the movie, the same way she got out in part 1, they found their way. It was her and this one other chick found his way. They wound up at the same place with all the bones and everything. And in part 1, she came out, she had to crawl up this like hill with all the bones and everything, and she got out and she ran. And that's how they found in part 1. Part 2, her and the last survivor was surrounded by these things. And she looked like a nut. It's once the memory came back, she always like she was nuts. She was killing shit left and right. I guess she figured that she wasn't gonna make it, but she knew that she had lost a child. Like I said, you gotta see part 1. She knew that she was gonna make it, but she wanted the other female to get out because she was about to get married or some shit. So she screams real loud and all the creatures go run after her. And the other chick, she's running up that hill, she's passing bones, she's passing the bones over here. She gets outside, she starts running, and then she wants to look at her phone and see if she gets service. Her phone still works after all that she went through down there in water and everything. I guess it was, I don't know. It was one of them old phones that flip up. But anyway, so then she's out there, and then all of a sudden she turns around, and guess what happens? She gets hit in the face with a shovel by the first guy who took them down there. Yes. So are you telling me all this time this was a setup and that he knew that these things was down there? I don't know. It don't say. Apparently it's supposed to be a Descent 3. It's supposed to be coming. I don't know if I want to see it. Even though 1 and 2 was good. The ending of the Descent 2 ended this way. He dragged the last survivor in this one back to the hole that she climbed out of. And she was leaning right up against the hole, and then they showed one of the things jump out. That's all it showed. They didn't say it grabbed her, it just jumped out. And another thing that I don't understand about this movie is when they first went down and because something kept coming out and dragging people down, animals down there, because there was animal bones down there. This huge creature, looked like a man, but it was bigger than all of them. I guess he was the one that was snatching up the animals, because he's the only one big enough to do it, and snatching deer and everything down there. He fights them and everything, and another creature at the end, when she was leaned up against the hole, comes up and grabs her. Then the movie goes off. So they leave it up to interpretation whether they're gonna make a 3 or not. Because did the first chick from part 1 and part 2, did she survive when she screamed? And did the creature snatch this one in part 2 down there? We don't know. But it's the part 3, the Descent 3 is supposed to be in the making. But that's my review of the Descent and the Descent 2. Is it watchable? Yes, but if you're a scary person, I wouldn't watch it because it got a lot of scary parts in the movie. But it was a good movie. It was about as good as 1 and 2. As always, they had some parts in the movie that I thought was stupid and ridiculous, but that's all. It's like all the movies like this. And they did good with why they was down there and why they was blind. They was all white, I guess, because they had no color, no sunlight, and they was blind. And they had some ears that looked like, I guess they looked like, you'll see in the picture, they look like bats to me, but they went according to hearing. Nothing to do with bats and shit like that. But let me know what y'all think. Love y'all as usual, and I'll hit y'all up later.